Everybody, we're back. Once again, it's Tape Don't Lie, your favorite Raiders podcast. We're back here, talking some more draft, or actually, we're not even talking all draft today. We're doing some little different things, but we already hit you with some draft stuff as well. But welcome back, guys. Make sure if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit it right away. Go ahead and make sure you do that. Hit the subscribe button. Definitely we're on the road to 4,000. We're on the road to 4,000 here, guys. So make sure to help us out. Tell your friends. Help us get to 4,000. We're at almost 3,700. So we appreciate all the love and all the people that have decided to follow us and turn those notifications on and all that stuff. So we appreciate every single one of you who's joined us. So make sure you hit the like button too. Help us get some more engagement. So if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. It's cool. We appreciate that too. Give us all the feedback that we need. Leave it in the comments. And then, make sure you follow us on Twitter. It's at BD Williams 18 for BD Williams. He's a defensive guy. I'm the offensive guy at the Mark John NFL. So this week we're going to be covering a little bit of Jonathan Abram. We're going to do a little breakdown of Abram, probably see where he fits in Gus Bradley's system and see what he can bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to do what BD did last week, except I'm going to flip it. We're going to find what Tom Cable likes in tackles based on measurements. So we're going to go over all the measurements and try to figure out what exactly he likes and what players fit that. And I'm just going to let you know before we get to the segment, you guys will be disappointed. So just going to let you know right away.
Wow. Don't tell him that so early in the episode, man.
I'm just going to let him know.
We need them to click through it at least a little bit,
Yeah, but I think they're going to be a little disappointed in that. But we're going to go over it and see what kind of tackles he likes what measurements he likes and what tackles fit that. And, we talk about a little bit what inside offensive alignment fit his inside offensive alignment numbers as well. But, we're going to do a lot of that. So BD, how you feeling, man? How you feeling this week, bro?
I'm feeling all right. Yesterday I went on a little bit of a Twitter rant, so to speak.
Okay.
Because, I'm kind of getting to the point where I see so many people on social media saying, Jonathan Abram sucks. Okay. Carl Joseph sucks. He can't cover. Corey Littleton sucks. Last year, he wasn't good for the Raiders. Yeah. Okay. Cleveland Farrell sucks. He's a bust. You see all this stuff over time.
Yeah.
Okay. And yesterday, it got under my skin because the Raiders signed, in case you didn't know, viewers, I'm sure everyone knows, the Raiders signed Carl Joseph. He's going to come back into the fold in silver and black. And people were like, he sucks, right? And here's my thing. We don't know what these players are going to do in a completely opposite scheme, okay? If the Raiders signed Wink Martindale, okay, to be the defensive coordinator from Baltimore, and he runs like a very complicated too high man match scheme or something like that.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, Carl Joseph, that's not going to work. We've already seen him in a too high, scheme with lots of checks and adjustments, things like that, in a complicated scheme. We've already seen him. So yeah, it would make sense if you said, okay, Carl Joseph, it's not going to work. I would never say an NFL player sucks because they got to the NFL, so they clearly don't suck. Okay, but I would understand why people would just be like quick to just write it off. Okay, but this is literally the complete polar opposite kind of scheme. Single high, lots of carryover from call to call. Lets guys play fast. Lets things be simple. And that's what I've been talking about since Gus Bradley came on. I've been on podcasts, other people's podcasts, talking about how that's going to help. So it just kind of got under my skin that people keep on saying that these Raiders defenders suck. We don't know. One or two of these guys that you guys have been down on, that the fans have been down on, is going to turn the corner and turn into something much better than what we thought. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone's going to turn from what we've seen them and then into a all pro caliber player. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But just the fact that there's actual NFL quality position coaches now, right? There haven't been under Paul Gunther. No NFL quality position coach would want to coach under Paul Gunther, anyways. But now that Ron Miles is here to work with the secondary, like we can't say these guys suck. We got to see what this scheme brings out of them, and then if you want to say that they suck if they're not productive in Gus Bradley's scheme after a couple years, okay, fine. But like, let's just pump the brakes right now. Like, we don't know what we have in any of these guys.
For
Because
sure.
and so I'll leave it at that. So I've had a couple projects on my plate. I'm gonna do Corey Littleton probably next week. I'm sure that the viewers, guys, people who tune in are a little tired of me always talking about safeties. Okay, but I decided to go for it. Jonathan Abram. I'm gonna talk about him. We could probably talk about how he fits into a cover three scheme. We'll touch on it afterwards.
Okay.
But I just wanted to kind of put my thoughts out there on the man. Um, you know, and how he, the type of player he is. Okay.
Okay.
So first of all, this is Jonathan Abram. He's at the top of the screen. They're in cover two. Okay, and he sees that he has levels concept. Okay, no, he's not threatened by vertical. And look where he puts his foot in the ground and chases down Robbie Anderson. Okay, this is like a 30-yard run, faster than everyone else on the field. Okay, fantastic range, speed, burst. Okay, for Jonathan Abram. All right, great play. Fantastic play. This is another one. They're in cover two again. He's at the top of the screen. And this is a run play. And he's not a run player. Trayvon Mullen is a run player right here. Okay. And look where he comes from. He backs up first and he makes a tackle for a loss. I defy you. Someone find me an example of a safety in cover two making a tackle from a loss for a loss. It's basically unheard of. Okay. Here we go. Week two. He's in the post. They're playing cover three. They do this Yankee adjustment. Okay. This is something that the best NFL defenses do. Hopefully we see this. He nails down on the crosser. Trayvon Mullen runs to the post. There's for my money, okay, there's less than 10 NFL safeties who can pull this adjustment off and make an impact, okay? Here we go. This is his interception against New England. All right, so, and he has man coverage on this guy down here at the bottom of the screen, okay? But he's relating to that guy, but he's also peeking at Cam Newton, and he gets away with some some freelance in here, and he gets that interception. But he made an interception on a pass thrown to a guy that was not his man. And then here we go. This is a beautiful run fill. He sniffs out the reverse, and you watch him shorten his stride and accelerate through the ball carrier like an arrow through snow. This is textbook coming down and running the alley. All right. Here we go. He's in cover two now. Okay. This is against the Chiefs. And we know he's in cover two. This is a standard Tampa 2 defense. Okay. And we know he's in cover two because he's pedaling back to the bottom of the numbers. Okay, so that's his landmark. And Andy Reid, he's a wizard. He calls literally the perfect play call. They got a little Dino route from the slot to Tyreek Hill right into the weakness of this coverage. And you see, this is like an oh crap moment for Abram. Like, the fastest player in the NFL is running right past you. Okay, but look at him just get on his horse, chase this thing down. Okay, make a pass breakup, save a huge play from happening. And Patrick Mahomes, because it is cover two, he has to throw it to the hashes. He can't throw it to the opposite side of the field because then that other safety might have a chance to make a play on it. And then here we go. Here's some great run stops. Okay, some fantastic run stops. And again, textbook running. Accelerate into the ball carrier. Here he is. This is a toss, and he's on the opposite side. He has no business making this play. Look at him just run faster than every single player out there. Body slam the ball carrier. Okay, again, boot action. He's supposed to blitz off the edge to take away the bootleg, but he doesn't even worry about it because he's chasing down that ball carrier from the backside. A lot of range. Okay, a lot of burst, a lot of speed. Okay, out there from Jonathan Abram. Okay. And if you didn't watch the Raiders, say you woke up from a coma, okay, and you're a Raiders fan, and I showed you those plays, okay, and you didn't know about him blowing the coverage against Kansas City, all right, and you didn't know about maybe like some penalties that have upset Raiders fans, you would be looking at that and saying like, is this guy in the Pro Bowl? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. John Carl Joseph was with the Raiders for 4 years. He did not make that many plays throughout 4 years, okay, of range, covering ground. Okay. Like Carl Joseph, he's great tackling. Okay. Like coming downhill and tackling. All right. But even if he did make that many plays, like it took him all 4 years to do it. Jonathan Abram did it in 1 year. Okay. Jonathan Abram is a very special talent as safety. And I didn't even like him that much coming out. And he's like proving me wrong in a lot of those areas. Okay. So it's fair to talk about a couple things. It's fair to talk about the blown coverages. Okay. So let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about the Indianapolis game when he gave up a touchdown to T.Y. Hilton. Do you remember that? They're playing some type of quarters. 2 goes vertical. That's T.Y. Hilton. He gets crossed up. Not great technique. He gets beat for a touchdown. Okay. It happens. It's okay. Like, you will live, Raider Nation. They probably weren't going to win that game anyways. Like, that was a drop in the bucket. They beat him like 47-24. Okay.
Hey, it was the red zone, bro. Don't get too crazy with that one. It was the red zone. They scored more touchdowns in the red zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then it would have been like 48. Yeah, there you go. Right. So, like, okay, he gave up that touchdown, and like he got mixed by T.Y. Hilton. Like T.Y. Hilton, like he gets paid to do this too. Like he's a bad man. All right, so he did that. Then let's look at the Jerry Jeudy long touchdown run when he's the Tampa 2 hole player and he abandons his zone. You probably remember this. Okay, he abandons his zone. He starts like running down to the flat. Drew Lock pulls the trigger. He hits Jerry Jeudy right across the middle, right where Jonathan Abram should have been. And Jerry Jeudy like goes the distance 92 yards for a touchdown. Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't know what Jonathan Abram was like thinking on that play. I don't know like the thought process there. And if he just did what he was supposed to do, he probably would have been in a position to at least make a tackle, or disrupt the pass, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate that he did that. But correct me if I'm wrong, the Raiders won that game.
Yeah.
Derek Carter, Darren Waller, walk-off touchdown. So the Raiders still won that game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so really the only thing that Raiders fans have is when he abandoned his zone to chase down Patrick Mahomes against the Chiefs the second time around, and he gives up that touchdown to Travis Kelce in the end zone, right? The backbreaker. It's inexcusable that he did that. It's terrible that he did that. Okay. Yeah, he had some missed tackles against the Patriots, but I go back to my Patriots episode. I talked to you about what the linebackers were doing and how that was making the runway so long for the running back and was putting Jonathan Abram in a really bad position in the open field. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say the missed tackles against the Patriots. Okay. They got trounced that game. I don't know if that would have been a difference. Like the one thing that we can really pinpoint is him leaving his zone against the Chiefs. So that's one play that makes you forget all these other things that I showed you that Jonathan Abram did, right? Like the range, the distance that he's covering, the burst that he has, all these things. Raiders fans are forgetting about it. They're saying he sucks because he's trying to be the hero out there, right? Okay, so I understand you want him to be more disciplined, okay, but you also have to realize too, like this guy is special. Like the types of things that he can do out there, like not just every safety in the NFL is capable of doing. Okay, so I would just hope Raiders fans, you can appreciate some of the plays that he did make. I understand if you're really upset with the guy because he abandoned his zone against the Chiefs. That's understandable, but you can't say this guy sucks. Nailing down on the crosser and breaking up the Yankee. Like I literally had to go back like multiple years of film to find someone make a pass breakup doing that. Like Jonathan Abram was the only example I could find in 2020. Someone nailing down on the Yankee, the safety in the deep middle, nailing down on the Yankee and making a pass breakup. That's the only example from 2020. The entire 2020 I could find of someone doing that. It's not a common thing. It's not something that everyone can do in the NFL. No, it's not common. Okay. If someone can find it, go try to find it. Try to find a safety making in cover 2, backpedaling first, and then coming and making a tackle for a loss. Try to find it. I guarantee you will have incredible. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. These things are very uncommon that Jonathan Abram is capable of. So I'm just hoping that Raiders fans can see this and appreciate, there is a special talent back there. Yeah, he has to be more disciplined. And I think playing in Gus Bradley's scheme will help him out.
See, I just watched that. I'm like, he's a deep safety, but nobody believes that. So
I know. I mean, and we've been saying that too. We've been saying that.
That's all I saw. Oh, look, there's a free safety right there. But no, that's where I think it should be, because all you showed was like him coming down, hit like even like the back pedal. Because if he's single high, he backpedals and he comes down. He could do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then when he was covering the Yankee, that's single high.
Right.
He had some good plays against the Panthers where he's running single high. I don't get it. I know that he can hit really hard, and he's supposed to be a box safety, and he's designed that way. I just don't get why. I mean, where he has some of his best plays, he's playing deep safety. So like, I mean, even in college, when I watched him in college, some of his best plays were at deep safety. He didn't have his best plays where he was in the box or the box safety. So I don't understand that. I don't get that why he's labeled that way, or why somebody doesn't try to experiment and try to put him in free safety, because that's what I would do. I mean, the tape is there. Maybe they are doing that. I don't know. Maybe that's why they brought in Carl Joseph. I don't know. They could be thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. We'll find out. We'll see what they do in the draft, and maybe if they pass up a bunch of safeties on the draft, that might tell us what we're thinking, right? I mean, because that would be better for me. I would rather have Joseph in the box, and I would rather have Abram playing single high, the free safety up top. That's what I would like. I mean, I know a lot of people don't agree with that, and I get killed every time some people tell me I'm an idiot. Like, what are you talking about? He's a box safety.
Me too,
like so. But everything you showed shows to me that he's a free safety.
Yeah.
It's I'm telling you, when I watched Mississippi State tape and everybody's like, he's a box safety, I watched Mississippi State tape and I'm like, I mean, it looks like he can play deep to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's fast enough to play deep.
Right.
I mean, like he has a lot of instincts and he's just a quick burst, that you're showing. So we'll see, man. I'm hoping that that Gus Bradley wouldn't watch the Saints game when they played cover 3 and watch the Panthers game when they played cover 3. He's like,
Right. I mean,
that's the hope.
Like if we look at Gus Bradley defenses, okay, you got Cam Chancellor, all right, Jonathan Cyprien in Jacksonville, okay, Derwin James. Like these are all big DBs, like 6'2", 6'3", 215, 220 pound DBs, right? Jonathan Abram is 5'11", and change. Like he's not that build. I would say he's closer in like skill set to an Earl Thomas than a Cam Chancellor.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that John Gruden said that he wants Jonathan Abram to be the Cam Chancellor, Derwin James. Maybe that's smoke and mirrors. Who knows? I don't know. So that's the one thing. The second thing is go back and watch, to the viewers who are still not bought in on Jonathan Abram. Okay. And I agree with you. I think he is actually a free safety, but we'll see. Go and watch the Denver game when they blew him out. Okay. Watch how Jonathan Abram, when the score is like Denver has no chance of winning. Watch like the absolute ferocity this guy is tackling people with. Still late in the game. Okay, like he only knows one speed of football. Okay, and then go to the Atlanta game where they got blown out. Okay, and watch again the effort, the tenacity that he's playing with. Like he is literally just like lowering his shoulder, hitting guys. They're flying out of bounds in both games. The Raiders have handily won. In the other one, they have no chance of coming back. It's like the fourth quarter, and the score is 40-6, and you see this guy just like sprinting his ass off, tracking guys down and throwing them out of bounds. Right? He has incredible effort. It's the discipline, obviously, that needs to get fixed, but like you should appreciate that as a fan of a team that you watch, that you have a guy who plays. It doesn't matter if they're winning or they're losing. He plays the same exact way. So I hope that fans can recognize that and can understand that he's still a young player. He's still got a lot that he can improve upon without writing him off because of one play that you didn't like. Okay. Or maybe they're Hunter Renfrow fans and they don't like that he got called for the peel back block on the Hunter Renfrow, right? Yeah. So like, there's things that he needs to clean up in his game, but like he has potential to be a Pro Bowl safety. And again, I was not high on Jonathan Abram when he came out, and like when he's doing things, and I watch a lot of film, like I'm telling you guys, he's doing uncommon things out there when he is making plays. So yeah. Anything else you want to add about Jonathan Abram?
No, man. I just that's just my opinion. The free safety thing is my big thing. I don't know how. And you talk about Gruden saying that. Gruden said that pretty early in the offseason, like right after they hired Gus Bradley,
Right.
like a day after they hired him. So who knows? Gus Bradley could watch tape and told Gruden, I don't want to do that. I know, and then they bring in Carl Joseph because Carl Joseph is not a deep safety. I don't know. I know you watched him with Cleveland. Um, he just never has decided that he was a deep safety. I know Raiders fans want him to be a deep safety,
Right.
But you tell me. I don't think the Browns played him as a deep safety.
They didn't. So I was really like, it was like combing through clips to see if I could find him in single high in the post. I think I found like there was like 3 examples that I found from like 5 games in 2020. He was box safety for the Browns, and yeah, and look, everyone loves to talk about like, oh, he's a starter at free safety, he's a starter at strong safety, he's a starter at nickel. Okay, this is the NFL. Guys are gonna get hurt. Like you gotta have guys who could do everything. Okay, yeah. Like stop worrying about what the opening day one, after training camp roster is gonna be, because by week 10 things are gonna change. Like someone's gonna break something, someone's gonna pull something, someone's gonna be on injuries. Like that's just the way it is. So yeah, roles are gonna change. You just want great depth. You want your third best safety on the roster capable of coming in and playing starter minutes. Like that's what you want really in the NFL. And between Jeff Heath and Carl Joseph, I think that
it's not bad.
It's not terrible. Yeah, it's not terrible. These guys are quality NFL players. They're not going to be impact guys ever.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be like a huge liability out there. Exactly. So yeah,
that's why I like Carl Joseph, because he's just solid. So
yeah, right.
He's gonna have some bad games probably, but will he have some good games? Yeah.
Like, so here's the thing too with like Carl Joseph. Say Carl Joseph was playing in that spot against the Chiefs when Travis Kelce caught that touchdown in the end zone, right?
Yeah.
Carl Joseph would not have abandoned his coverage. Okay, he would have been right there, perfect coverage, and Travis Kelce would have dunked on him, right?
You save a hose through it anyways.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, like the guy is only like that. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he broke up that pass against Detroit last year that helped him win the game." Like that's literally the only time he's ever broken up a pass to a tight end. Like go back and try to find another example of him breaking up a pass to a tight end. Okay, like Carl Joseph, tight ends eat him. Okay, and it's like sucks to watch it too, because it's like, man, like he literally didn't do anything wrong in this rep. like his feet are good, like he's lean, he's playing great coverage and everything like that, and he just gets out rebounded for these by these big tight ends. So yeah, but yeah, like hopefully they don't ask Carl Joseph to play over the tight end too much, but
Okay.
yeah, we'll see.
All right, man. Yeah, good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Breaking down Jonathan Abram, giving some some positivity his way. There's a lot of people don't like Jonathan Abram right now. They're not very happy with him. So there's definitely some positivity, man. That was a positive part of this podcast, man. We usually get hit for being negative, bro. That was very positive, very positive outlook. Optimism. That's what we need, right? Optimism in the off season. We're 0-0, so everybody's assuming the Raiders are going to go 7-9 and 8-8. You're like, what do you guys know? You guys don't know that. The NFL's weird. They could just like some of one of these teams they play like the NFC East, they all get hurt or something, and they just roll through the NFC East because they all suck. It's just NFL's weird. But yeah, optimism is part of the off season. I like it, but I'm not the most optimistic on this segment we're doing here. The next one. So we're going to go into Tom Cable draft picks. Okay. We're going to go into what is Tom Cable like in an offensive alignment. We hear all these stories, right? Like they're outside zone. So he likes the most athletic tackle there is. He's going to draft Alex Leatherwood. He's going to draft Tevin Jenkins. Look, Brady Christensen, has a RAS of like 100. He's going to draft Brady Christensen. But is that true? So that's what I wanted to really deep dive into. And I found some very interesting things, guys. I just wanted to let you know that there's a lot of interesting things that are when it comes to what Tom Cable likes as a draft pick. So let's go into just a few of the main things here, right? So it's really all about size, length, and explosiveness. Okay, so what goes into size, length, and explosiveness, right? The main metrics to go into explosiveness, size, and length, right? You got arm length, right? Hand size, height, weight, okay? And then you got 40 vertical and broad for to basically show your explosiveness, right? I mean, more vertical and broad kind of show more explosiveness than the 40, but that's still one of his main thresholds, like 3-cone, short shuttle, all those other things, they really don't matter to Tom Cable. Those guys are like, there's some guys with some pretty ugly 3-cones and short shuttles that he drafted for his outside zone scheme. So it's really not a thing that he looks for. And either his best bench reps, right? And he has never drafted a tackle that has more than 26. You can say that deals with arm length. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that is a good point, but it's still a weird thing. And guards, he has drafted 2 guys that have pretty high bench reps with 30 or over. But the main ones are height, weight, arm length, hand size, 40, vertical, and broad. So what are those metrics, right? So with height, you have to be over 6'4". He has not drafted any lineman at all that is under 6'4". It doesn't matter what position, what round. It doesn't matter. He's never drafted anybody that's under 6'4". Not one guy. Okay. Not one. Okay. The next one is 307 pounds. Okay. So he's never drafted a guy that's under 307 pounds.
Interesting.
It's another one interesting.
Who was that? 307.
Mark Glowinski.
Oh, Glowinski.
Too. Yeah. So my bad. It's 305. Right. My bad. 305. Because Brandon Parker's 305, and I'm looking. So the lowest he goes is 305. Okay. And that's Brandon Parker. But then you have Mark Glowinski is 307, but he's a guard too. All right. So
right.
Kind of shows it. Colton Miller's 309. So, it's kind of the lower end for him, but he's never going below 305. Okay. 305 is the lowest number. Arm length. Okay. So arm length is interesting. Okay. So with tackles, all right, he's only drafted one guy who's under 34 inches. And that was Justin Britt, who's 33.5. And he moved Justin Britt to center. So you can look at it how you want to look at it. But he moved the guy who drafted, who had arms under 34 inches. He thought he was a center. So that kind of tells you all you need to know about him, how he thinks tackles. He wants a long arm tackle.
34 inches is relatively like 34-inch arm length is relatively uncommon. Like that's gonna cancel a lot of guys, right?
Yeah, it's like 70 to 90 projectiles type of
Yeah.
percentiles and percentiles for any position, for any lineman. 34 arm length. But that's what he likes in his tackles. He's never drafted a tackle. Like I said, he drafted one tackle that was under 34 inches. Justin Britt moved into center 2 years later. So obviously he thought something like there's something, he has something with length. Okay. Now guards. All right. We'll talk about guards. Guards a little different. The lowest is 33 and 1/8.
Okay.
For guards. But I mean, he still likes long. I mean, that's still that's
really a long arm guard. Yeah,
that's a long arm guard. Okay, because let's talk about John Simpson. He drafted last year. John Simpson, arm length 34 inches, 1/8.
Yeah,
his hand size is 11. We're gonna get to hand size in a second, but that's a long guard. Okay, that's not just
it's a big
average guard. That's a
really big guard. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So the next one is hand size. Okay, so hand size with tackles. We got the lowest is 9 3/4 for hand size. That's the lowest he's gone. And there's really no deviation from that. So that's the lowest he's gone from that. And then with inside O line, it's basically the same. The lowest is 9 5/8, which is basically a little bit under 9 3/4, but he likes big hand. He likes big, long, big hand, very big in size lineman. Okay. So we got hand size there. And then of course the 40. The only guy who's been over a 5'3" is Brandon Parker. He's the only guy. So everybody else in their 40s, no matter what position line, they're under 5'3". He doesn't have a deviation in that. Vert has to be over 25. Okay.
So 25-inch vert and a 5'3", like that's most linemen, right? That's not anything crazy.
Yeah, most, but the average, let's say the average vert that he's drafted, because I mean he drafted one guy that was 25, who was James Carpenter, which is the first guy he drafted in 2011 as the Seahawks. He's the only guy who's at 25. The rest, the average is 29 inches.
Oh, okay, 20. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's big. That's a big vert.
So that's his average, and the highest is Jermaine Ifedi, who had a 32.5 inch vert, and of course there's Court Miller, who's 31, John Simpson's 30, and Mark Lewinsky is 31. So there's a lot of guys there, and then of course the broad has to be over 809. Okay, so everybody's over 809 with the broad. So and that's a high percentile for broad. So it's basically those things. It's size, length, and athleticism and explosiveness. I want to say athleticism, explosiveness. Okay, so those are the main things that he likes in his offensive lineman that he's drafted. And I didn't go to what the old Raiders when he was on the Raiders because
I was going to ask.
Al Davis made those draft picks. I'm not gonna.
but Jared Veldheer was.
Jared Veldheer was. I didn't go all the way back then, 2010, because I don't know how much that he had a say.
Okay, right.
Let's be real. I don't know how much he had a say. I feel like that's mostly Al Davis because I mean they drafted Bruce Campbell, and I don't know. Bruce Campbell ran like a 4.7. You know, I don't know how much but. I was 2011 when he would have more say.
Just for the record, okay? Does this meet the benchmarks here, okay?
Okay.
Jared Veldheer, 6'8", 312.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, 33-inch arms, 9th percentile. That's underneath. Yeah. But everything else I think is there. 10-inch hands, 506, 40, 33.5-inch vert, 109 broad jump, 32 reps on bench. So yeah, just the arm length, I guess, would be the only disqualifier for Jared Veldheer. So I want to let the viewers know, okay? I helped Marcus crunch some of these numbers, and he was telling me the thresholds. And by the time I got done filtering out all these guys, there was like literally 7 potential prospects.
Seven tackles. And then we went and added some more just to make it fair. Like some guys who like hit like arm length but don't hit hand size.
Right.
And I want to go over. Let me just go over first who gets eliminated because I know fans they're dead set on some tackles. So let's just talk about who gets eliminated first. Okay. So Samuel Cosmi, tackle. You see some breakdowns for him online about potential Raiders guy. People really like him. Maybe the Raiders take him at 17. Arm length 33. He's gone. Right. He's out the window. Even though he hits everything else, but that arm length is like I don't know. That's the big thing. Maybe he has 10. He has 10 and a quarter hands, but his arm length is not even like close to like his lowest. So if you drafted him, you probably play him at guard. All right. Brady Christensen. That's the guy who they went and visited. They went and visited, right? They Mike Mayock went there. GM guys went there. I don't know who else they would have went and watched. Because unless they want to watch Zach Wilson, which would be interesting, but they don't. I don't know who else. They're watching Dax Klein, the wide receiver. So they went and watched the Tristan Hodge. They went and watched Brady Christensen, right? Brady Christensen has 32-inch arms.
Oh, really?
And he's 302. He's out.
Okay.
Now as we're getting more disappointing, we got Tevin Jenkins. Yeah.
Say it ain't so. That was your pick in the mock.
No, man. I almost cried when I saw this. Tevin Jenkins, 33.5-inch arms. 9.5.
There's a chance.
He's guard. He's a chance to play guard for the Raiders. All right. And then next up, we got Alex Leatherwood. He's out. He reaches the arm length. Kind of. He's 33 and 7/8. So maybe.
Okay,
but,
right.
But he's 9.5-inch hands.
The hand size. You think it's important?
I don't think it is, but it's Tom Cable. That's yeah. Obviously, I don't think length's that important. If you're good.
Right.
If you look at some of the best tackles in the league, they're not long. Like, look at Joe Thomas. That's mine. All right.
G-Bach.
What's up?
Bakhtiari.
Yep. So I don't think length's that important, but it is what it is. What's right in front of me? This is the numbers, right? The data is the data. Rashawn Slater, he's out, 33-inch arms. Dylan Randudes, he has the length, 34. He doesn't have the hand size, 9 1/8. Liam Eckerberg,
9 1/8. He's got DB size hands.
But he confuses me because, like, how do you have that long arms and have that small hands? Doesn't make any sense.
It's interesting.
So that's interesting. And he's 301. Rashawn Slater's 304. So those both the guys are two.
Okay.
They don't weigh enough. So Dylan Randunes is too light. Liam Eckerberg, he hits the height and the weight, but his arm length is 32 and 3/8, and he's 9 and 5/8 for hands. So no, that's not. He's
Eckenberg really.
No, he's not. He's gone.
He's probably not getting. Most teams are probably drafting him to play tackle 32-inch arms.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I haven't heard him playing guard at all. I've heard Slater and like Leatherwood and playing guard, but I haven't heard him playing guard. And he has smaller arms than that. They do, like length than they do. So
yeah.
Penei Sewell, he's out 33 1/4. I really hope they wouldn't pass Penei Sewell.
They would have no chance of drafting him anyway. So.
I know, but I'm just saying
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The another interesting one was Darisaw. Darisaw has 34 1/4, but he has 9 1/4 hands. So
only 9 1/4, huh?
But he's 6'4", 322. Maybe if you just. Anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of guys eliminated. There's probably like if you had a top 10 tackle list, probably your top 10 tackles might be eliminated, which is it hurts. I understand. It's very, very frustrating. When I went through this, I was very disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I really hope that they kind of look past some of these things for this draft.
Yeah, right.
When they draft some of these tackles, but if they don't, let's look who hits these metrics. All right. So I'm gonna highlight. There's a lot of guys that hit these metrics, but I'm only gonna highlight 3 of them. A lot of them are a lot of late round guys. You got like Josh Ball out of Marshall. He's 6'7", 308, 10-inch arm, 10-inch hands, 35-inch arms. He hits the 40 broad. He hits that. You got some inside offensive lineman, you got Royce Newman from Mississippi, Trey Smith, who I was going to break down, but his tape was really bad. I didn't want to do that. Larnell Coleman, he's an
Where's Trey
offensive tackle
Smith
from
from?
UMass. Channing Herring, who's Tennessee. Trey Smith is he has a lot of buzz, but yeah, it's just not good tape. I didn't want to be mean this today. So Dan Moore Jr., Texas A&M, Darius Harper, who's the other tackle on the other side of James Hudson, we covered last week for Cincinnati. Tommy Creamer, he's all right. He's not very good. And then Walker Little is really close. Okay, he has 33 and 3/4 arms, and he has the hands, but maybe, I don't know. That's really close. But 3 guys that I want to talk about today that hit these metrics that could come in and maybe get some playing time year one. All right. Like a lot of these other guys that I was talking about, they aren't. I don't know if they're going to beat out Brandon Parker. I don't know if they're going to beat out somebody like that. So, or even have Denzel Good might play right tackle over some of those guys.
Right.
But who are some guys that could come in and keep Denzel Good from playing right tackle, let him play guard whenever he wants to, right? All right. So the first guy is Spitzer Brown, offensive tackle, Northern Iowa. He's 6'8",
beast,
freak, 3'11", 10 and 3/8 hands, 34 and 6/8 arms, 4'9", 40, right? Once I said 36 in the bench, 31 vertical, right? And so he is an absolute freak, okay? And he's really, really, you can see the speed on tape when he gets into pass pro. You can see that he has good feet. He has really good feet. He actually has pretty good hands, right? And he's able to get his hands inside, and he shows a lot of power too when he's working out. So he's able to throw some defensive ends around, when he gets his hands inside and take full control. But one of his issues though is when he played against Iowa State. Okay, so in 2019, he didn't play in 2020 because he's from FCS. They didn't play. They're playing right now, right? So he didn't play this year. He came out. He decided he wanted to come out. He went to Senior Bowl and all that good stuff. But when they played Iowa State, he really, really struggled. Right? He did not look like a good player when he played Iowa State, which was, that's a Power 5. And there's no Iowa State defense end that's coming out that we know about. There's no edge rusher that we know about that's coming out. And he really struggled. And it was more like the speed, I think. And it's weird because he runs a 4.9, but the speed of the bigger conference, he couldn't handle. So he struggled with a little bit of speed rush. He struggled with the quickness. When he has a problem, so he's so tall that he has to lunge a little bit to get down, right? Because he's so tall that he has to lunge a little bit. And when he was lunging, those guys were just kind of just slipping right past him, using their athleticism to get past him. So Spitzer Brown has that issue that when he went against bigger conference, he struggled. But when you watch him against FCS, he looks really, really good. But his Iowa State, he did not look like a tackle that you would want to take in the first 2 days. He looks like a day 3 tackle. But the athleticism, the upside, I mean, his technique is not bad enough where you don't feel like you can turn him into something, right? So I think that he might be somebody the Raiders look to at day 2. I really hope it's not day 1, but it's somebody they could look at for day 2 that they might want to pick up, and he fits all the measurables, and it's somebody Tom Cable's going to love. Tom Cable's going to love everything about him and
right.
Spencer Brown. Right? Yeah. You got any thoughts on that, BD, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen some highlights of this guy demolishing people. It's scary to see. It's nuts.
But Iowa State, he didn't. So
right.
That's kind of my
fair enough. Thanks for pointing that out. But yeah, Spencer Brown, I think, is really intriguing. If he feels like a guy that the Raiders are going to reach for.
I know. I know, BD. I know.
That's going to be their second round pick. Is going to be Spencer Brown.
Yes. If I had to take a bet,
right?
It's there. It depends on what they do. So we'll see. All right. Another guy I wanted to highlight is Stone Forsythe. All right, Stone Forsythe is from Florida. He's tackle. He's coming out from Florida. He's a big guy. He's 6'8". Okay, he's 6'8". Again, another 6'8" guy. Okay, kind of like another Colt Miller, 307. He's basically a Colt Miller, 6'8", 307. He's got 10-inch hands. He's got 34 and 3/8 inch arms, right? He runs a 5'1", 340. His bench is 25. So we know Tom Cable doesn't love those bench guys. So he hits that bench and he has a good vertical and he's got a good broad, right? So Stone Forsythe is a really, really good run blocker. Okay. Shows a lot of promise as a run blocker. They ran more of a gap scheme in Florida. It wasn't really a zone scheme. So you didn't see a lot of zone from him, a lot of zone blocking, but when he was able to run block, he did really exceptional. He was able to move guys. He's not really a finisher. So that's one thing I didn't like about him. He's not really a nasty guy. He's kind of like more of a finesse run blocker, but he's very effective with it. He's able to get low when he's run blocking. He's able to get low and get gain leverage because he's 6'8", right? He's got to be able to get some bend and get in there and get some leverage to help him out to in the run game, and he does that really well. He's able to move people, shows more power than his bench shows when he's in run blocking, right? So he does have some. He has some upside as a run blocker, and he's a really huge guy. He looks like the biggest dude on the field, and he's in the SEC, so he's humongous. Yes. He definitely has some upside there. Now, as a pass blocking offensive tackle, there's not much there to be desired. He does when he does get the bend in the run game, he doesn't get the bend in the pass game. So he does allow people to get into his chest pretty easy because he's super late with his hands. So he's late with his hands. He allows people to get into his chest, which allows for free bull rushes, right? And he's able to get pushed back into the quarterback pretty easily. And when he's in a pass set, so when he's in his pass sets, he can struggle a little bit. He also struggles with speed in his pass sets and his agility. A lot of people can fake him out. A lot of people hit the jab step and jab, go inside. He's whiffing for air. And that's a lot of things that Stone Forsythe deals with. He struggles with that too. It's funny, the bench reps show up in pass pro. He doesn't have that power in pass pro. He can get tossed around pretty easily by strong defensive ends. Like there's a play that in South Carolina, he just gets tossed around. The guy just tosses him to the side. It's pretty embarrassing. But so that's my worry with Stone Forsythe is he is a work in prospect. He's a work in work in progress as a pass pro offense tackle. He doesn't really offer that much, and he's going to need a lot of work. He's not a starter day one. So, I mean, unless they want to come and they want to draft him and they want to go, off balance line or something. I don't see what he could do year one. He needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of help day one. But he does have a lot of upside because the size and the length and things like that. But as a pass protector, I don't see it. I don't see something that they should build on. But who knows?
This is the only guy that you're gonna break down that I actually watched. I watched I think 4 or 5 games of him for expanded box score, and that was my biggest thing. I was like, this guy has literally everything you could want. But his technique is like just not good. Like his hand, especially his hands. I thought that his hands were really atrocious.
Yeah.
I'm with you. He's a project. He's a big project. I mean, there's a lot that could pay off for a team, but it's going to be like 3 or 4 years, before he gets it.
Yeah, because like I said, his 3 cone is 7. He's 7.47. That's pretty good for 3 cone. That's about what Crow Miller was, and his short shuttle is 4.63. So like he's athletic.
He's a great athlete.
Great athlete. So that's all he's depending on right now.
Yeah.
And the last guy I wanted to highlight, which was interesting, which I think is could be a steal. Day 3. Like I don't think he's going to be a day 2 guy, unless some team decides to like him, or the pro day that he had just kind of elevates him. But it's interesting. It's a guy named Tommy Doyle from Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
Tommy Doyle. He's from Miami of Ohio. He's 6'8". Okay, he's 6'8" too. He's 320. Right. So he hits those. He has 10 and 38 inch hands. Right. 35 and 1/8 inch hands.
Okay. 35-inch arms.
Yeah, arms. That's what I'm saying. Arms. 35-inch arms. Sorry. 35 and 1/8 inch arms. Okay. And he runs a 5.1240, and his shuttle is 4.57. His vertical is 33.5 inches. and his three cone is 7.42. So this dude is like probably one of the most athletic tackles in this
Tremendous.
draft class.
Yeah.
Okay. Now his tape, and I know it's the Mac. Okay. I know it's the Mac. I'm not gonna talk about, I know the level of competition he played against, but his tape in pass pro is pretty good. It's pretty
Okay.
good, man. He's very solid. I mean, I didn't get to see him against any top competition, but he has like a lot of techniques. Like he'll use a snatch and trap. He'll snatch and trap guys. He has good hands inside. He has great feet, man. Like he's great feet in pass pro. He's
Interesting.
quick into his sets, right? He's rarely beat around the corner. He doesn't get beat around the corner at all. I mean, the tapes that I watched, I didn't watch. I didn't see him get beat once. So it's interesting. I mean, he only gave up 9 pressures all year. I looked it up on PFF just to make sure that I'm not crazy what I was watching. I
Yeah.
want to see him. Yeah, he only gave up 9 pressures all year on like 800 pass snaps. So he is legit as a pass blocker. Like that dude is a legit pass blocker. I think that he could come in and probably pass block pretty well, pretty decent, like right away, because I mean, I know he doesn't have the bench press, he doesn't have the power, but he has the technique. His technique in pass pro is clean, and he has the athleticism, and he has great technique. Now, the bench press, we talk about the bench press, right? And the run game is a little different for Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle, he doesn't have like the play strength to get a lot of push in the run game. He has athleticism for to do reach blocks and stuff, which it doesn't require that much power, but
Right.
like in a gap scheme and like running power and things like that, he's going to struggle a little bit because he just doesn't have that power in the run game. He's not a big time mover, even when he has that big size, which is, you worry about that, him being a big time mover, but that shows up in the bench press, right? I mean, even, we talked about bench press affecting with arm length, but when it comes to, in the run game, he struggles a little bit. He does struggle in the run game a little bit, but as a pass blocker, man, he is super legit. He is a legit pass blocker. He's probably one of the, when it comes to day 3, I think he's probably one of the best pass blockers you're going to get day 3. I mean, besides like maybe Walker Little if he falls that far, but based on injuries, but like besides him, in my opinion, I think Tommy Doyle is probably one of the best pass blockers you're going to get on day 3 as a sleeper. So so I was very surprised in that. And if the Raiders drafted him late, day 3, like in the 4th, I mean, the 4th might be a little heavy for me just because I'm not, he didn't go to the Senior Bowl. Nothing. I've never seen him against top competition. He's going to have an adjustment with speed no matter what, just because it's where he comes from. So like, but round 5 and up, bro, like if he's there and they take him, I would be excited.
Tommy Doyle, Miami of Ohio. I guarantee you John Gruden knows about Tommy Doyle because John Gruden is an Ohio guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't know about the Maction, okay, it'll be Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Okay. And these guys in the Mid-America Conference are playing primetime college football on like ESPN2 or something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have to be a real football junkie to watch that kind of stuff. And John Gruden is a football junkie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he's heard of Tommy Doyle. That's what I love about the MAC guys, because if you can adjust your schedule to play on a Wednesday night or something like that, hats off to you for that. So that's super interesting. I've never heard of this guy, never seen him, but now I definitely want to cut the tape on for sure.
Because he was one of the first guys that when I was pulling up and going through the athleticism and the metrics and the measurements, I was like, oh my God, man, that guy made them all. I gotta check this guy out.
Yeah,
and he's pretty good, man. He's good. He was a good player. So,
so out of those 3, okay, let me put it to you like this: would you rather see the Raiders draft Spencer Brown round 3, Tommy Doyle round 4, or Stone Forsythe round 5? If you had, those are the 3 options.
I'll go Tommy Doyle, which is crazy. I'll go Tommy Doyle in the 4th.
The way you're talking about him, it sounded like he's legit, bro.
Yeah, he's a great pass blocker, bro. Like that's like, because even if you want to look, if you want to go based on PFF he's been 80 plus every single year that he's played. So if you want to go with PFF, you could verify there. Like he hasn't given up any pressures really. Like I think in 2019 he gave up like 3. So like he is legit, bro. Like he is a legit pass blocker. He has length, athleticism, and size. And it's not like Spencer Brown, because Spencer Brown, his tape is not really as good as his athleticism is, or as his length in his tape. If I had to pick the two guys of tape that I would go with out of those three, I'm going Tommy Doyle. He's the best tape out of those three, even Stone Forsythe, in my opinion. But it's more about competition with Tommy. So if Tommy played the SEC, would he be Stone Forsythe?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
So like that's why I would not want to reach on him. But like if it's day 3, anytime day 3, I'm cool with him taking Tommy Doyle. I'll be cool with it. Seriously.
Right. Okay. That sounds good. Well, that's kind of exciting. I know. Well, like let's just cut back to this. We hope that Tom Cable doesn't like pass on a really good tackle because his arms are a half inch shorter than what he would prefer, right? Like we would hope that doesn't happen. But we'll see, and that's just like we're just going off of history. Just like when I did the safety thresholds, Marcus is now doing the tackle thresholds. We're just going off of history, so we're not trying to predict the future or say the Raiders won't draft the guy or anything like that, but just going off of history there. And sometimes, people history can be changed or be broken, whatever it is. The cycle can be broken. I don't know, whatever. So hopefully the Raiders don't pass on a great tackle, but we will see about that. I appreciate you illuminating us with that study. How long did that take you to put all that together? You were texting me for a minute about that.
Like 5 days. But because I think it was more because of my disappointment once I started listing the players, and like especially when they knocked out Darisaw, which they passed on Darisaw, I'd be so upset. I don't care what his hands are. His arms are long enough. Who cares what his hands are, bro? Like, look at the arms. He's like, got arms, because the guy that I think at 17, which I talked to before the show, because the guy who hits all the metrics for guards that I really love is Landon Dickerson. He hits all his guards metrics, and he didn't work out, but he hits the size. He got the size. He's got the height. He's got the hands, and he's got the arm length that he likes in his guards and his centers and his inside offensive linemen. So he might like Landon. I mean, that's kind of a wild card to me in this draft, because that Landon Dickerson does hit all his metrics. So all his measurements, where he wants it. I can't say metrics, but all his measurements of what he really, really wants in his offensive lineman. And I think Landon Dickerson is kind of a little wild card, in my opinion, which I would be super excited about. That was part of a mock draft. So,
yeah, we're both Landon Dickerson fans here.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's also good to know. I mean, I think the Raiders, correct me if I'm wrong, we got to see what John Simpson has when Incognito is coming back, right? Denzel good, got re-signed. It seems like we're good at guard.
That's what I think so.
But yeah, I mean, I guess if you trade back, or if you're sitting there in the second round and Landon Dickerson is still there, probably wouldn't be. But if Landon Dickerson is still there in round 2, you got to get a guy like that. Like, he's legit. He's going to be playing in the NFL for like 10 years. So got to get a guy like that, right?
Exactly.
All right. Anything else on your end, bro? We talked about Carl Joseph coming back a little bit. We talked about it. Anything else?
I mean, nothing else is really going on, man. Nothing else that I know of. Nothing else is really happening. But I just want to get the people informed and get them ready. That if they pass Tevin Jenkins, why? Remember TDL. Remember TDL right now. If you're watching the draft and you're like, why the hell did they pass Jenkins? Tevin Jenkins. Why did they pass Christian Darisaw? Why the hell did they pass, whoever fell? I just told you why. So
why did they take an FCS tackle in the second round? Why did they take Spitzer Brown first round? Yeah, that's why. Right,
because it was interesting, because I looked at Mike McGlinchey, because the big thing, they were going to draft McGlinchey at 10. So I looked at Mike McGlinchey just to see maybe there's a difference. He hit all of them.
He hit all of them, right?
Yeah. 34-inch arms, 10-inch hands.
McGlinchey was big. Yeah, McGlinchey was big.
Yeah, so he hit all of them too. And they were about to draft him at 10. Yeah. But the Niners took him first. So, and then they drafted the other 10-inch hand, 34-inch in drafts. So,
right. It's crazy because, like, I guess like that conversation just goes into like what the Raiders have their own board, okay,
Yeah.
and they don't seem to like know or care about like where the consensus is on these players and like where they might be drafted and maybe like trying to trade back and stuff like that to like we could probably get this guy a little later or something like that. Like no, they just have like their guys, and even if like everyone else like thinks that's a second a day two guy, like they're still gonna draft that guy in the first round without even trading back. So it's I mean it's happened literally like year after year after year with Gruden. It's gonna happen again this year, guys. The Raiders are gonna take someone, and you're gonna be like, "Wait, what just happened?" So, and again, just wait a couple years and see what happens. Have an open mind.
Yeah, have it over mind.
Because like look at Cole Miller. I mean, Cole Miller is way better than Mike McGlinchey right now, right?
Yeah, way better.
You know, he's not like an elite tackle in the NFL, but he's legit and he's a good pass blocker. So
Yeah.
you know, he's. I guess everyone thinks like if you're a first round pick, if you're not in the Hall of Fame in 2 years, you suck.
Yeah.
You know, like
or if you're not elite your first year,
right?
If you're not like
right,
you gotta be Justin Jefferson. If you're not Justin Jefferson, then you're not.
You're a bust. No, but on the real though, like the Raiders are going to probably surprise us because they always do. So again, just keep an open mind and let's see how this guy plays. You know, after a couple of years, you can judge it. That's just my philosophy. So
Tommy Doyle round 1. So here we go.
That'd be great. There you go. Max Crosby was a guy from the MAC too. Okay?
I know that's what I'm saying. So we got some action here.
It's going to be SEC, ACC, and then Tommy Doyle.
And then Tommy Doyle. Yep.
Right.
Because I'm 100% sure he loves Tommy Doyle. He's like John. I mean, this guy from Ohio. You see these measurements? 100% sure.
Right. All right, guys. That's it. That's all we got for today. Thank you for tuning in. As always, this is the Tape Don't Lie Raiders Film Channel. My guy, Marcus Johnson, he blessed us with a great breakdown of Tom Cable's thresholds for offensive tackles and offensive guards in the draft over the years. So appreciate that, Marcus. You can follow Marcus at the Mark John NFL on Twitter. He will also be delivering some, like little cool things to look at on Twitter if you follow him. Follow myself at BD Williams 18 on Twitter as well. I've been posting some things. I've been moderately active on Twitter the last few weeks. So yeah, this is the Tape Don't Lie Raiders Film Channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you tell your dad about it. Okay, set your dad up. All right, with the post notifications. Subscribe it. So all he has to do is just type in YouTube, and then all of a sudden we're on the front page. Okay, let your dad know. Some dads can't do that. Help your dad out. Okay. He's going to enjoy the podcast. He's going to enjoy the channel. All right, guys. So again, we appreciate you. Raider Nation. Peace.